If you're going to do a conspiracy, the first thing you want to do is make sure that the rifle or weapon that you're going to plant is not the one that's used in the actual murder. That's the first step to a successful conspiracy, guys.
I just want to know why, Charlie. I want to know why.
Maybe ask the person who shot him.
To murder Charlie Kirk. A decision that very clearly had to be approved by Charlie's friends.
Had to be approved by Charlie's friends. Which friends, Candace? Which ones? Who had to approve it? Are you saying that Dan Bongino and Kash Patel are now responsible for the death of Charlie Kirk? Who? What friends, Candace? What friends would have had to have approved something? You want to get sued? Didn't she say that? Didn't she make that claim? Sue me. All right, well, put your balls on the table and stand behind your claims. Stop pussyfooting around with these implications. Say what you really mean. If you're so not concerned about being sued, Candace, then just say what you want to say. Stop implying shit. Stop dancing around. Yeah, she's not going to do that.
That's all I have. I want to know why. I think we deserve to know why. And instead, we're going to be sued. I guess, is this going to be the pathway forward? You're going to start murdering?
Yeah, God, it's a funny thing, Candace, when you spread lies, when you say lies about people on the internet, when you defame their character, when you slander them, and you ruin somebody's reputation to the point where it causes financial harm. Yeah, we have legal pathways for that in this country.
More people in broad daylight for knowing. Is that our consequence? Is that like the slave consequence? Is that like, catching a slave and cutting off?
For knowing what? For knowing what, Candace? Do you know how many people in this country know the government's corrupt? Know that government agencies are corrupt? What are you talking about?
Their limbs, for knowing that you're evil, for finding out, for us understanding what we have known from the moment that we saw Charlie die, and people started peddling out excuses after excuse why we weren't allowed to look into this.
Oh, so she means the government's only corrupt because they killed Charlie Kirk. It wasn't prior to that. No, it wasn't all of the other evil shit that they've done. Decade after decade after decade. It was this one. It was Charlie Kirk.
All we want to know is why. We want to know what that slave did wrong. I think that's fair. I think we just want to know what he did wrong, okay? Because that email, that checks out.
It checks out, guys.
Secret Service,
checks
the
out.
FBI.
I can't tell you whom. I can't tell you my name. I can't tell you any information about me. I can't tell you where I work. Okay? I can't tell you anything. But everything I'm saying in this email somehow links to Charlie Kirk being shot, which it doesn't in any way, shape, or form. All of this Egyptian plane stuff, all of this nonsense. It's all great. I mean, like, they're going to end up finding out something else totally unrelated to Charlie Kirk. They keep digging into this with an Egyptian spy plane having, I don't know, Egyptians on the plane and then going to Delaware where allegedly they're tracking cars with license plates who drive somewhere and then swap the plates to drive somewhere else because in case Candace is looking. Like, I have no idea, but they're going to end up like finding out something totally not related to Charlie Kirk. It's going to be like some weird, like, intel operation with, the DEA and the CIA and the FBI. And I'm pretty sure none of these agencies like each other either, but I don't know. I could be wrong. Fuck do I know? But they're not going to link this in any way, shape, or form to Charlie Kirk. And let me tell you why. Let me tell you how it's never going to get linked. Are you guys ready for this? It's going to blow your minds because it doesn't have anything to do with Charlie Kirk. It has absolutely nothing to do with Charlie Kirk or Charlie Kirk being shot. Why do I say that? Because of how pathetic the shooting was. I'm tired of pussyfooting around this and trying to be like PG with it or politically correct with it. What happened to Charlie Kirk was pathetic. It's a joke. It doesn't need to be some giant conspiracy. It doesn't. There was nobody fucking there. There was nobody watching the fucking roof. Nobody. They're in the police report, in the charging documents, there was one officer scanning roofs. All those roof areas there's one officer looking. That means in order for him to see Tyler Robinson, he would have had to have been looking in that direction at that exact moment. Very small time frame there. Very small window. Tyler Robinson showed up, scoped out the area earlier that morning, probably looking for two things. I would assume one, trying to get a really good idea of where Charlie Kirk was going to be sitting. I don't know this yet, but I'm pretty sure that tent, that canopy, that area was probably all set up about the time he showed up, if not a little bit before then. So what's he doing? Two things: scoping out the area to figure out where Charlie Kirk is going to be. What's the second thing? Checking to see what type of security and police presence he's going to run into. This isn't rocket science, guys. The kid had balls and took a shot. Period. You're not as safe and as protected as you think you are. Sorry for going on this little tangent here, but this is getting stupid. Like beyond entertainment. This is getting really, really stupid. Charlie Kirk was hit with a bad shot, an inaccurate shot. There is no chance in hell that you're going to have a sophisticated conspiracy involving Egyptian spy planes and CIA and DEA and FBI and Mossad and all these other agencies. There's no way you're going to have that, and it's going to be one dude on a rooftop who's a bad shot. Not happening. Sorry, guys, not happening.
The DEA being involved, why this plane, the quote unquote Egyptian plane, landed into Wilmington, that checks out.
And means
so I
nothing.
guess to our government.
In fact, while we're on this, you know what? While we're on this, I just want to point out just how stupid this is. It's confusing her own people. Anytime Candace does a video, I always check to see what her band of misfit retards, as I've dubbed them, what they're going to run with, what they're going to take from her video and run with, because these guys can't come up with anything on their own. At this point, they're just waiting to see what Candace leaks or what Candace puts out so they have something to run with. Otherwise, they're, lost in talking about the Epstein files like everybody else, which is a fucking joke in my opinion. And well, not that the Epstein files are a joke or, you know what I mean? Just everything surrounding the Epstein files at this point is a joke. The whole thing, the way this administration handled it, the way the previous administration handled it, the way people are going on and on about it, as if any of this crap, and I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I hope the Epstein files get released, and I hope there's investigations and people are arrested and people are sent away forever and ever and ever. I hope. But I'm not going to hold my breath. I don't think we see anything come from those. But anyway, even Candace's own people are like, what does this have to do with Charlie Kirk being shot in the neck from a guy who can't shoot shit? Can you explain this? Because I listen very carefully and I don't understand. It's okay, Mungie. It's okay. Nobody understands. That's the point. It's stupid and it doesn't make any sense. There's nothing unusual about an Egyptian military plane landing in the U.S. Egypt was a U.S. military partner, and foreign military aircraft land here every day for fuel, maintenance, crew rest, training, routine. Could be, don't know. Can somebody answer why the feds would need an Egyptian plane to track Erica Kirk? Why would they need a plane to track Erica Kirk at all? For any reason? Bro, what is she even talking about? I'm so lost. Tail numbers, license plate numbers, addresses, CIA, Mossad, Egypt, Erica's a spy. What is she even trying to say? Egypt is one of Israel's allies. I'm pretty sure Egypt is a United States ally as well. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here's a Candatard. Candace always bringing the receipts. Receipts of what? Receipts of what? What does this have to do with Charlie Kirk being shot? Please, please, for the love of God, one of you, link this in any way you can. Link it. Show me an Egyptian on the ground at UVU. What happened to those 12 cell phones, the Israeli cell phones? Well, we're just not going to talk about that anymore. What happened to that whole story? Where'd the 12 Israeli cell phones go to? We'd find out who those were. So he and his wife were tracked and followed by the USA. Well, what does this mean? So the government was following him? Okay, so what? Who killed him? Definitive truth would be the 12 cell phones would be linked to the rental cars in the plane, but she doesn't have that. This drip, drip, drip is not helping anyone but Candace. Anyway, I just thought it was funny. I ran across even her own people are like, what? Like, finally. I don't know why they weren't coming to that conclusion weeks ago, but hey, at least they're getting there.
The next move, like are we just going to keep spending hundreds of millions of dollars trying to see how much money can be spent on a psychological operation to convince people not to believe their own eyes and to convince people to accept the Fed slop, to convince
Candace,
people.
You're literally asking people to not believe their own eyes. In fact, I would go further. You are in a manipulation op to convince people to not believe their own eyes. Don't look at the guy that was running off the roof. Don't look at the fact that there's a severe lack of police presence that day. Don't look at the obvious, I suppose you could call it negligence on UVU's part that day. And we're going to get into that because Candace makes some claims about why, we'll get into it. But I would argue that I think there might be a case for serious negligence, and it would not surprise me at all if there weren't lawsuits coming to UVU. We'll get into that a little bit more.
That Charlie ate 3,000 pounds of energy coming at him. Can we know why? We just want to know what he did. I want to know what Charlie did. I think about this. It is like, what did Charlie find out? Charlie found something out. That's it, guys. Charlie found something out, and it cost him his life. That's the truth. Okay. Charlie knew something. And whatever it is big and it is ugly. And deep down, I think we know what it is.
Did Charlie tell anybody? He knew. What did he know, Candace? He knew this crazy secret stuff that was so detrimental to know that it got him killed. I would have hoped he would have told somebody. That would have been cool, right? Wouldn't he have told you, Candace? Weren't you guys close? Weren't you Candace? According to Candace, her and Charlie were like this, thick as thieves. He writes you a letter by any chance, telling you everything he knew? All this secret stuff that got him killed? Yeah, my guess is no. Candace kind of exposes herself right there. What did Charlie know? He knew something big. He must have known something big. That's why they killed him. But he didn't tell Candace. He didn't bother telling Candace, his best friend. Super close. Tight.
Oh, tight, yeah.
Not tight enough to tell you the super secret stuff that got him killed, though, apparently.
I think we all kind of know what it is. I don't even know what to say. I don't even know.
I have no idea what it is. You tell me.
Beyond the fact that we are being ruled by sadistic criminals. All of us. The whole
Thanks, Alex Jones. No kidding.
world. Every nation. Okay? A gang of demented
Bombshell.
psychopaths
Yep.
rule over us. And their solution to being caught doing psychopathic things is to murder us. To murder us. So we'll take a quick break and come back.
COVID broke so many people. People who just really weren't conspiratorial minded. Normal people that kind of look at the world as black and white. Everything's black and white. COVID destroyed them, completely warped them. So much so that everywhere they look now, They just see an op, some type of psyop. Evidence of that is down in my comments. Feel free to look down in the comments on any of my videos. It's an op. I'm part of the op, guys, because I'm looking at stuff going, this is dumb. I'm going to share this to the internet and inform other people of how dumb this is. That makes me part of the op, guys. Part of the op, in case you didn't know, with my $7,000 checks that have yet to show up. I'm actually starting to get mad. I'm being accused of these checks. Israel, if you guys are listening, throw me a bone. Send me a check. Seriously. I'm getting accused for it anyway. You guys might as well start dumping it in for my 1,000 views that I get on my videos. I can't imagine that's worth 7,000. In fact, I think YouTube thinks it's worth right around $6. $7,000 check.
So we're driving in, Megan, and his team has drones up looking at the crowd from above, and they text him some video. And there's thousands of people there an hour before the start. And I said, Charlie, I don't like this place. There's too many buildings. And but he shrugged it off. He knew there were thousands of people there. And he knew in order to minister to people, you can't completely isolate yourself. It's just like love. You can't keep your heart in a box. You got to give it away.
His team had drones. They were texting him footage when he was in the car. So Brian Harpole lied. You see, I used to lay in my grandma's bed and watch Judge Judy with my grandma growing up.
Yeah, I don't think Brian Harpole lied. Don't think he lied at all. I don't know who it was that was flying those drones. I have no idea what type of drones those were. But the type of drones that Brian Harpole says that he had in Shawn Ryan's video, and that he was not granted access to fly those, probably aren't the same drones that whoever this was shooting them up in the air to catch a video of. Those are going to be two probably very different drones, would be my guess. If Brian, just my assumption. I could be wrong, but that would be my guess. Not to mention, we know that other people went out to UVU after this event and wanted to fly some drones, and they ran into some issues trying to fly drones. But I don't think Brian Harpole is lying there, and I feel like this is a little disingenuous to not put out the full context of that, to just make a bold claim that Brian's lying.
So the bullet came in and hit the vertebra, and so it came in and then tore up everything in the wound cavity, hit the vertebra, crushed it, shattered it, turned, crushed the second one, turned, kept going down all the way. I think they said C6.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it's like, why not put that info out? Why not put it out? And then
Why wouldn't they put that out?
And if do me a favor, don't make me do it. It's not my job. And so then it got to here, and you're exactly right. And then hit, I think, 6, and then fragged. And so explanation 101. What are you hiding? Yeah. It's like I'm sitting back here when people are saying we bombed him or there's a wound. I'm like, hey, if somebody would, from an official capacity, would just release that. And I don't see how that could jeopardize a fair trial for a guy.
So to be clear, the only person that can actually release his autopsy report is Erica, next of kin. That's given to the next of kin. That's like the Utah state policy. If he's suggesting that the feds are blocking her.
I don't know if she could at this point release that, or maybe she could, but it's, I wonder if the prosecution isn't like just recommending that she don't release it to the public, that she just wait, keep everything back until trial. And then once trial happens and trial's over with and the case is concluded, then everything is what it is. So that wouldn't surprise me. Not that they can necessarily like deny her from being able to do that, but it wouldn't surprise me at all if they were recommending that she didn't and that she's just going by, sure, absolutely. Whatever you guys recommend, no problem.
From doing that.
That wouldn't surprise me.
In that statement, why not just release it? they could in theory just release it. And yeah, it's not going to jeopardize anything. The reason they're sending you out to do it is because they don't want to be caught lying themselves. The feds have told a ton of lies. That's the problem.
They're going to have to present it at trial, Candace. What are you talking about? They don't want to get caught lying. So they're going to wait to do it publicly at trial and then get caught lying there? What are you talking about? That is obviously going to be used against Tyler Robinson.
And they don't want to add to it. So it's easier to sound a security person and say, well, we never said that. He said that. If what he is saying is true, Charlie wasn't shot by a 30-06, which we've been telling you from the beginning. Okay? We've been telling you Charlie was not shot by a 30-06. He was not that damaged. I told you this. I've confirmed this. Okay? And so you are left.
What has she confirmed? I'm confused. Somebody explain it to me. What has Candace confirmed? Because as far as I can tell, she hasn't confirmed a fucking thing because she doesn't know anything. She didn't bring this information out. This was brought out by what's his name? Stephen Gardner. Pretty sure Stephen Gardner was the first one that came out with this, like, sort of specific information on what the bullet did inside. But I'm still holding out for the autopsy report. I don't care what these people say until I see the autopsy report and I see a medical examiner explain the autopsy report. I don't care what they say. I want to know from the professional standpoint, the person it's supposed to come from, what happened inside Charlie Kirk's body. So no, you haven't confirmed anything. Tell me what bullet was used, Candace. If you're so smart and you have so much information, what was the bullet that was used? Please tell me. Can you give me a brand? Can you give me a grain? Can you give me how much powder was in it? What powder was in there? Can you tell me the condition of the barrel of that rifle? Until you can give me that information, anything you say that you've confirmed is bullshit.
To believe that this really was a modern day miracle, and that bullet came at him from 150 yards, 3,000 pounds of energy, and it just pinged off the back of his neck and went down into his stomach, or Charlie was shot with a smaller weapon.
Which guys, that's conspiracy 101, guys. Okay, if you're gonna do a conspiracy, the first thing you want to do is make sure that the rifle or weapon that you're going to plant is not the one that's used in the actual murder. That's the first step to a successful conspiracy, guys. Do not use the rifle that's the plant. Make sure it's a completely different caliber round than the one you actually shoot the person with. If you don't do that, you will not have a successful conspiracy. It will be a failure. If you put 3 12-year-olds together and told them to plot this out, even they would be able to figure that out. That we should probably use the gun that we're going to plant as the one that actually makes the shot. Or at least it be the same caliber, because then you don't have to worry about covering that up too. The less you have to cover up, the more rock solid your conspiracy is going to be. This is stupid. This is stupid. This is nitwit level shit. Okay. Oh man, we need to use that more. We got to bring nitwit back because this is very nitwit-esque.
Okay. A smaller caliber. Either or. You get to decide. You get to decide whether salad can do that. You get to decide whether you're accepting the Popeye the Sailor Man narrative and he ate spinach. And then the next thing you know, everything was great and he was strong. You decide. They think you're...
Bro, does Candace's audience even know Popeye? Is this... What is this, boomer TV hour? What are we talking about?
They think we're all stupid. Obviously, this is a conspiracy, okay? It is a conspiracy, and I was so happy to hear Joe Rogan spell out and acknowledge that not only
Okay, yeah, we're not gonna. I could care less what Joe Rogan has to say. All right, let's go back to one of Candace's previous ones where she basically goes just all out on Brian here. She goes max on Brian. Thanks, Charlie Kirk. Did a lot of good in the world. Go Max was not one of them. Now we have to hear this crap from all these conspiratards. Go Max.
there should be multiple angles here from one student or CNN. Pieces of footage of the alleged shooter. One, of course, of him walking in front of, I think this was the house that Phil Lyman was at. Yes, that's what we just discussed. That sure as heck could be a white RAV4. The second piece of footage being the
license plates.
TMZ release.
Hey guys, go look
footage
for these
of
cars.
Somebody else in the neighborhood of him walking. Yep, that sure as heck could also be a RAV4. Footage number 3 is the footage of the alleged shooter pulling out in the parking lot, which was provided by Ryan Matta, that he chased down. Yep, that also could be a RAV4. And also, of course, the footage where he allegedly jumps off the rooftop. Many of you said it looked like there was a RAV4 pulling up. Look, yes, all of it's possible. Is it also possible that this is just a coincidence? Yes, it could be a coincidence. It also could be a conspiracy. We have to explore every lead because the feds are not. They are implicated in this cover up.
How does she know that the feds are not? How does she know? How would Candace possibly know what the feds are or aren't doing? Why? Because they're not publicly talking about anything? I feel like talking about things publicly would be the worst thing you could do if you're investigating something. Could be wrong. I feel like the only time you would maybe go public with something is if you're, I don't know, maybe trying to identify somebody. That's another thing, guys. When's the last time the government had a patsy that they needed the public to help identify them? I don't remember them putting the picture of Lee Harvey Oswald out in the newspaper saying, please help identify this person. Any other patsy that you can think of that they needed help identifying? I'm drawing a blank. I'm not saying there isn't one, but one doesn't come to mind. And I'm sure somebody in the comments will let me know, although I doubt that the people who hate on my stuff watch this far into the video. I seriously doubt most of them even watch the video. I think they just look at the thumbnail and decide what they're going to comment just based off the thumbnail, which is why I put out some confusing ones sometimes, just to see.
This is how investigations work. You chase down theories, you posit theories, you chase down those theories, and you are open to being proven wrong. So that's what we have for you guys. You chase down theories, you have to explore every lead because
I think she just tried to tell us how investigations work. Let's see what she says.
Because the feds are not. They are implicated in this cover up. And this is how investigations work. You chase down theories, you posit theories, you chase down those theories.
No, I don't think that's how investigations work. I think how investigations work is you collect evidence. And then based on the evidence that you collect, you start trying to piece things together. Probably what you don't do is come up with a predetermined theory and then try to prove that theory. I think that would be the opposite of what you would want to do in investigation. Pretty sure you would want to not have any theories and you would just want to collect the evidence. And then based off the evidence you have, you go in whatever direction that evidence points to. Not, this is what I think, so now I need to try to find evidence of that. Which is what they do.
Theories, and you are open to being proven wrong. So that's what we have for you guys.
Jeez, God, I feel like you guys really aren't that open to being proven wrong. Because you've been wrong about a lot, and I'm trying to go through the videos and remember when you admitted you got something big wrong. Oh, yeah, wait, it hasn't happened.
Also going to have a major scoop tomorrow about what's happening on the inside of Turning Point USA. I just want to triple, quadruple confirm, but we need to focus our
She didn't have a major scoop.
Attention on each and every plane that arrived in the aftermath of Charlie being shot. The planes that took off and arrived. I brought up one plane to you. We were able to determine that plane that departed Scottsdale at 8 local time and landed at about 10 a.m. local time into Provo was owned by a Turning Point USA. Expensive.
Oh, don't care.
Well, something. First up, many of you guys pinged me regarding Brian Harpole, an interview that he did with Shawn Ryan. Now, Brian Harpole is one of Charlie Kirk's long-term security members, team members. And on the day of the assassination, you'll recognize he's the guy that had the black strap. I don't know if we have a photo. He had a bag across him, and he was standing to the front right of Charlie, kind of looking out at the audience. You're going to see him in a second. He is the one who then runs over to Charlie. And again, you recognize him because he kind of has that small, supposed to be a medical bag over him. Now, I have not watched this interview in its entirety.
What does she mean is supposed to be? Supposed to be a medical bag. Supposed to be. You don't think it's a medical bag, Candace? What do you think it is? What a stupid comment to make.
But from what I have seen thus far, it is just not that convincing. For one, Brian offers up that the lack of security on the rooftop can actually be attributed to the UVU police chief, Jeff Long. Here is what he had to say.
On Monday before, this correspondence went to Chief Long. Hello, Chief Long. We received this message today from the student group. There is a student roof access pretty close to where CK will be set up at the Utah Valley. The Sorensen Center has a couple of staircases that go up to walkways on the roofs. He comes back, and for edification, the Sorensen Center was the building in front of the Lucy Center. And so he comes back and he says, you want access to the roof. And came back and said, I was told students have access above us. If this is true, it would be nice to either have it controlled access or allow one of my guys to be there as well, if possible. He comes back, and his last correspondence was, I got you covered. What else am I to do? When a command level person from an accredited police department says, I've got this area. Jeez.
Please pick me. Okay. When you're like in school and you got to hold your hand up because you really want a teacher to see you. I have an answer for what else you could have done. You could have followed up because it's your job and Charlie paid you millions of dollars not to pass the buck.
Please, down in the comments, let me know. Followed up with what? When you're in that type of position, when you're in that type of situation, and you're dealing with professionals, and you raise a concern, and in response, they come back with, I got you covered. There is no need for a follow-up. Do you know what the response would have been to a follow-up? Probably the same as the initial response. This is such a stupid argument. Makes no sense. This is deputy chief? Brian very clearly lays out that they are a private security detail. He does not have the authority to demand things from a police department. He can ask, as you see in that text message. He can raise concerns, but it's not like he can command them to do things.
No. Also, you asked the police chief an either or question. And I'm just kind of like trying to understand the basic construct of sentences. He said, got you covered. What does that mean?
I've seen this a lot. People, they do. How you can not understand what I got you covered means blows my mind. What do you mean you don't understand what that means? Hey, so I've got a roof problem here, okay? There's student access to this roof. Can you make sure that maybe access is limited, or can I have one of my guys there maybe? I got you covered. What do you mean you don't know what that means? That means I got you covered. What do you fucking think it means? It literally means what it says. It doesn't mean anything besides I got you covered. Hey, there's a roof problem here. Roof problem. Roof access. Can we limit that? Or maybe can I have one of my guys there or something? I got you covered. I guess I have to explain this. It means don't worry about it. I have got you covered. I am taking care of it. I'll handle it. I'll take care of it. I got you covered. All the same thing. It's exactly what it means. It means you don't have to worry about it. I got you covered. Holy fuck.
Either or question. Either provide us access or get somebody up there. Got you covered means what? No follow-up? That's it? Millions and millions of dollars on his security annually. And you just said, hey, a student told us that there's a rooftop and it would be good if we could have access to it, or if one of your guys could secure it. Got you covered. That's it.
That's all
what
you
Charlie was
need to
paying
say.
for?
That's all you need. That's literally all you need. Hey, I got a problem here. Don't worry, I got you covered. What? What world do these people live in? Might I add that he very well may have had him covered because nobody took a shot from the Sorensen building. Just saying. He specifically asked about the Sorensen Center. Nobody was up on the Sorensen Center roof. Might have actually had him covered there.
That should be accepted by anyone. I am not blown away by that. I'm not going, oh, this is UVU's fault. Okay. By the way, Jeff Long also has a very extensive military career. I obviously have been very clear that I believe that this was a military level assassination. Everyone on the ground that day, every witness for some reason, this is not a military academy, but
guys, this is so stupid. Everything that I've seen, and I've been paying attention to this daily, everything I see points more in the direction of negligence than it does in the direction of conspiracy, or in the direction of intent, or some type of like if our military, okay, if our military are putting together ops that are this terrible to where Candace Owens could discover them, we're cooked. Country's cooked. Guys, we're screwed. Okay? They're this sloppy to where they can't even hit the target correctly. It's an off shot from 142 yards. Hits him in the neck instead of obviously where he was aiming, which wasn't there. Cooked.
In your coordination with UVU, I mean, did they offer any assistance, anything at all?
Yeah.
Did you ask them of anything?
Absolutely. So we come in and we start looking at things immediately. Like, man, where are our risks? You know, what's our risk assessment when we come in? That's why we get there. That's why we start doing the advance so early. We walk it, you know, we build it ourselves. And so initially I spent thousands of dollars on drones last year and got the guy's license. But if the area lies in the Provo, Utah airspace, I can't fly it. That's a 107B. We can't break the rules, right? And then you had secondary restrictions, probably due to heavy foot traffic for the school. But I can't go in and break the rules. There's laws for a reason. And so now the school could have flown drones, the PD, but they didn't have them, right? But Orem PD has a drone unit active and professional, and that police department, I will tell you right now, is awesome. They get it. They were there. They helped both on the soft side and the hard side. And so I started asking questions like, "Do you guys have a drone unit?" Yeah. Good. Do you have an MOU or a mutual aid agreement with the school? And they're like, yeah. I said, did they call you and ask for assistance? No. I'm like, why wouldn't you call?
Well, I think that's your job.
No, that's not his job, Candace. He cannot call and demand assistance from a police department. He is not the Secret Service. He is not a military security team. He is a private contracted security. They have no authority at all. And she cut that out conveniently out of that interview.
I'm like, why wouldn't you call? And then, so, that's one. So just, I can't go in and break the law. I can't make my guys break the law. I can't go in and do something that would jeopardize their
Do you
career.
have any idea why they would say no? I mean, was this malicious? Was this being malicious towards
I don't know
Charlie?
if no's the right one. I would say, did you ask? Did you ask this awesome PD that would probably help you in a heartbeat, that you have an MOU with? Did you even ask them? And the answer was, from them, we didn't get asked. We didn't get asked. And then so table the drones, which would have been awesome. Absolutely. I believe in them, but I can't break the law to do it. We're out there not only protecting them physically, but I have to protect the reputation of the client also. And that's a whole separate thing of protection. So the drones would have been awesome, but I can't break the law. They could have used them. They chose not to. And you got Overwatch, yeah, snipers on roofs. I got guys that are qualified. That's their career. But this is not a State Department job. I don't have an ITAR, and this isn't Iraq. This is Utah. I can't go in and set up, observation points with snipers. That's against the law. I can't break federal and state law to do what we need to accomplish. So that's their job. Our job is the close protection bubble, and there's a saying on this, and there's areas of responsibility, and we cut up the areas of responsibility in this pre-meet, or when we start doing the advance. All right, we've got this, you've got this, and so they have that Overwatch capability, and they have an MOU for SWAT for that through Orem, not utilized. Don't know why. That's a question for them to ask. Why?
That's a really good question. That would be something I think people should be pressing on, is why? Why did you guys seem to just not take this security that seriously? I'm sure that UVU is aware of how politically divided the country is. I'm sure UVU is aware of how serious and how violent these things can get. Why were they so understaffed, it seemed, when it came to providing some type of police presence at this event? That's a really good question.
Like, am I crazy? Or is that his job? Is it his job to call and to see things through if Charlie's paying him for executive level security? Like, is this how these assassinations happen? Is that what's happening even like at the White House level with the Thomas Crooks thing? Is that what happened? Like, Secret Service just called locally in Pennsylvania and was like, hey, that looks like trouble up there. Could you maybe get a guy up there or let me know?
She's comparing the Secret Service to Charlie's personal security detail. They don't have the authority to just call up Orem PD and say, hey, send more guys over here. That would be no different than me or you calling up the police department and saying, hey, I'm going to need you to send like 30 cops over. They would be like, okay, cool. Who's going to, what? It's not going to happen.
Or if like whatever. And then they were just like, yeah, sure, gotcha. And they just figured it was accomplished. I don't accept any of that. You shouldn't accept any of that, nor do I find him to be convincing, right? The vibe I'm getting from that interview
Candace is getting
dishonesty.
vibes again.
Okay,
Candace has vibes, everybody. God, these people, man, how you just base everything off of vibes and not logic is beyond me. And for no, not even going to go there.
I'd like to see more of your conversation, not this screenshot that doesn't prove anything other than that you started a conversation about the rooftop, that you were aware there was an open rooftop and didn't follow up in some measure. And so it's a little bit ridiculous to be passing the buck. So thank you for the receipt that wasn't actually a receipt.
So Candace is going to come out and tell you what a receipt is or isn't. Gotcha. That text message that he just released is more of a receipt than anything Candace has produced in any way, shape, or form in regards to something that's relevant to the Charlie Kirk assassination. Candace has produced receipts for shit that's completely irrelevant to who shot Charlie Kirk. Every receipt she's ever given you cannot be linked or connected to who shot Charlie in any way, shape, or form. But this guy's receipt saying that the deputy chief of police says, I've got you covered on that rooftop. That's a pretty big receipt. In that interview, he also goes on to say, why don't you guys request FOIAs from UVU? There have been people who have requested FOIAs or who have submitted FOIAs for UVU. And UVU is not releasing a lot of their stuff based on, I don't know if they're using like the gag order or whatever it is in as an excuse, but I can almost assure you that that's not the only reason that they're not releasing information. I guarantee you, they are super concerned about lawsuits. And that might explain why it is that they wanted to have that shit paved up so fast. Why they wanted to have that completely covered over and made look different and sort of given like a memorial for Charlie Kirk, right? Is to avoid maybe any further trauma. I'm just speculating here, but that might explain that as well. I have to imagine that UVU is going to have lawsuits hit them and that they've got to be concerned for negligent lawsuits. If I were a student and I was there that day, I would at least be talking with lawyers right now in bringing lawsuits, especially with that text message out now showing that God, it kind of looks like maybe they weren't doing a very good job of protecting the students that day. So this whole like, oh, Brian's passing the buck. No, Brian's actually bringing up some pretty valid points, some pretty serious concerns. So again, everything, even now with this Brian interview and everything that happened that day and how Tyler Robinson was able to get there, to get on that roof, to take that shot and then to run away and to not really run into any type of authority figure there. That, to me, points much more towards negligence than it does conspiracy. That's going to do it for this one, guys. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one, which I'm sure there's going to be because they're not going to stop.